Good morning and welcome to Monday Moments with Fran. Hope you are well and have had a great weekend. Have you ever gone through an experience where it feels like a lot of pressure, there's a lot that's demanded of you, expected of you, and it gets to a point where you are coping, and then the last thing almost tips you over the edge and you all of a sudden are so overwhelmed with the pressure of the experience or the circumstance or of life. So something I want to talk to you about today is, don't ever let the pressure get you to the point of being so overwhelmed. It's unnecessary. And this is coming from someone who has experienced that quite a few times. There's been times when even something as simple as, the time to get things done, you almost have, I love schedules, like love my diary, love knowing what's happening where, when, and at what time. And when things happen or occur unexpectedly, sometimes it can throw me a little bit off guard. And then before you know it, there's another demand or another expectation, and this could be in your personal life, it could be in your work life, in whatever capacity. And there's been times when I have wanted to throw my phone out the window. Like if I get another text, email, call, it's just, I'm done, because when I say overwhelmed, I'm talking about when you feel like you're drowning because the situation is just unmanageable. Now, I think when you come out of your emotions, you realize that actually it is okay. But, when things get built up, you then stay in your emotion and it's not healthy at all. There's been other scenarios where I have got a lot of perhaps projects or areas I'm working with, and it seems like the deadlines are all coming within the same month or the same time frame. And I'm someone who is learning to be a lot less emotional. Again, there's times when I am like driving, doing what I'm doing, and all of a sudden you just get this overwhelming sense of emotion and you feel so, I just can't cope, I'm done, I quit, everything just needs to end. And maybe you can relate to that. And so today I just want to share 3 steps, maybe 3 ways in which you can kind of not experience that overwhelming feeling, because overwhelming in emotion, it's not good. It's not good at all. So the first thing is what is the first thing? The first thing is to get some help or delegate. Sometimes I feel we have this superhero syndrome where I can do it all by myself just because I can. And the reality is nobody can do everything by themselves. We are created and called to live in community with other people. We're built in families. And so ask for help. Very simple. Again, people can assume that you are managing, you're coping, you're able to do it all because you put on this incredible front that you can. And when you're struggling, not everybody sees that. So ask for help and delegate. For me, a really effective manager or an effective leader is one who delegates. Work to your strengths. If it's going to take me an hour to do one task, but it'll take you 10 minutes, by all means, have that task. So number 1, get help. And delegate. Get other people around you to help in that particular situation, which is perhaps causing you to feel a lot of pressure and then to feel overwhelmed. Number 2, I'm not sure what's happening today. I've forgotten my little list. No, number 2 is you can't control what's out of your control. So just accept it. I'll say that again. You can't control what is out of your control. So accept it or find some place within you where you are at a resolve. We cannot control other people. We cannot control other situations. And as much as we may think we need to or want to, you can't. And so you become very frustrated. If there's things happening outside of your sphere of influence that's impacting you, but you have no control, breathe. Accept it, ask God for grace and wisdom, and carry on, because it just makes no sense. So even something as simple as the weather. So yesterday in Birmingham we had these crazy storms, like torrential rain, there was flash flooding, and it was a really serious situation. And in my house I had a couple of leaks. And I had this experience a few years ago. I live in quite an old house, beautifully characteristic but very old. And I had a leak, and now a few years ago when it happened, you know, it was only a leak, but yet within me, it was like the whole world is coming to an end. I can't cope. I'm crying hysterically. And it was just, you know, my response or my behavior was, it didn't, you know, match the situation. Whereas yesterday it was a case of, well, it's leaking. Let's contact the roofer. Let's get towels, get a bucket and deal with it. And I think the difference is not to feel and allow yourself to feel so emotionally traumatized by a situation that you can't control. So number 2 is, you know, you can't control what you can't control, so just be at peace and be at resolve about it. And the third one, which is the most important one by far, is remember who and whose you are. You know, you are a child of God. God is your heavenly Father. He is the creator of the universe. He is the Alpha, the Omega, the beginning and the end, and he's sovereign. He is in control, and he knows that you be facing this situation. There was one particular summer where I had a lot of responsibility, and I remember feeling really overwhelmed and really inadequate and really like, you know what, they've got this wrong. I can't fulfill all these roles and responsibilities. And, you know, a loved one said to me, but Fran, if God didn't think you could do this, he wouldn't have given you this responsibility. And it just helped to reframe and bring some perspective to what I was feeling. And yeah, it kind of set me back on track. You know, remember who and whose you are. You have within you the capability and the ability by God's grace to manage the season, to live and to walk out exactly whatever is happening in your life right now. So guys, be encouraged. Pressures of life will come. Challenges, they will come. But there's no need to feel so overwhelmed and burdened by the experience to the point where, you know, your emotions are just completely shot. You're called to live a victorious life. You're called to live an overcoming life. And just ask God for the wisdom and for the grace to manage whatever you're going through. So, that's from me to you. Have a fantastic week. Remember, you are blessed and you're loved. Go and encourage somebody else. See you next week.